Well, hello everybody, Vicky here. Just coming on to let you know that I am still around. I am still making videos when I can, that is. So what I'm doing here is I've got there's three envelopes, like I'm doing all three of them pretty much the same out of the scrap basket, number one. And by the time you finish seeing this little series of videos, as I speak now, the basket number one is now finished. Now there's three of these envelopes that I've coffee dyed. I wasn't going to use them because I thought that they were a little bit wonky and wasn't sure about the acetate window. And then I thought, well, it's junk journals and that's what it's all about. Now I am using a printable, and I apologise sincerely to the person who created this printable. You deserve the shout out for it, and honestly, I don't know who it is. I did have a really good, reliable system where as soon as I printed any out, I put them in a protective sleeve with the name of the creator on them. But somewhere in my fog of about 4 or 5 weeks ago, I just printed a whole stack out. Thought I'd be able to keep them all separate, and I was wrong. So there's quite a few printables that I use. When I can, I will go through and find the names of them. Hopefully, I will remember, and I'll go back and pop them in the description. Okay, so what's been happening with me? I think I got a little haul video up, but I haven't really got anything done in almost 4 weeks, I think, now to put up. Now, I usually don't like to go on about what happens with me. It's a craft channel, it's a creating channel. It's not here for me to use. It's not a platform for me to talk about myself and everything that's wrong with me. Funny stories and bits and pieces, antidotes I don't have a problem with. But medically, I think we're all got our own problems, and we all have something to deal with in one shape, way, or another. So this is what I've got is I've got a series of videos that are all basically using scraps and creating with what was on my table, and so consequently the next few videos that come up will be pretty much all the same. Now these are weeks old. They've been sitting in my iMovie to be edited, and I haven't had the wherewithal to be able to do it. So as succinctly as I can, I will tell you why there's ebbs and flows on my being reliable to get regular videos out and what happens. It is my goal and my greatest frustration at the same time to put videos out regularly. It's important. I think people who are nice enough and kind enough to watch my videos, I think it's a nice thing for me to do is to honour that and put some videos out. And at the end of the day, no matter how bad I have felt with what's wrong with me, I still go in and I still try and create. So what happens with me is as far as medically fitness go, I'm in pretty good shape medically. My issue is my bones, muscles, and some tendons. So I am constantly having procedures, and then at the end of every 4 months, I go into hospital for a week's treatment, and then that sets me up for the next 3.5 months, and away I go again. So we're just cycling through. A couple of weeks before I do go into hospital, my body winds down. I believe the medical term for it is fibromyalgia. My brain goes into a fog. I have absolutely zero energy. I am fatigued to the point where my joints and my bones ache so much I just can't do anything, think of anything. But because I'm me and I'm nothing if not pig-headed, I continually get up and go in and sit at my craft chair and try to do things. I put the camera on and then I just have hundreds of hours of video to edit and voice over when I come good. Now I'm 2 weeks out from being in hospital now. While I was in there, I had a procedure done. I down to theatre and a procedure done. And what was done to me, I'm now 2 weeks out from recovering. Within the next week, it normally takes 2 to 3 weeks to recover from it. I will be good to go. But at the moment, I can't put my neck down to look to see what I'm doing at my desk. And if I'm up for too long, it's like my head's too heavy for my neck. But that's temporary, that's recovery. I'm 1 week off. Every day I'm feeling a little bit better, and we're coming into the third week. So it's going to make a huge difference with how I feel. I just have to live the recovery. I suffer from chronic pain. And as you can see, like my hands are starting to get a little bit crippled up, and that's also happening throughout my body. But now, having said all that, I'm one of the luckiest people, really, honestly. What is wrong with me isn't fatal. It's just something that needs to be managed. And there is treatment for it, so let's not dwell on it too much. Having said all that, that's just a quick explanation of why I come and why I go. It's not because I lose interest. It's not because I've got anything better to do. It's because I just simply don't have a choice in it. It just is something that needs to be managed. And that's pretty much it. There's really not much else to say about that. We haven't been doing very much. We've missed a couple of dates at the theatre, but we went in on Saturday night, which was a little bit too soon, but hey, nothing ventured. So we went into QPAC on Saturday night. We had dinner in Little Stanley Street, and then we went on to the theatre. There's a Queensland theatre company called Shake and Stir, and they are an amazing company. They put on brilliant shows, and Saturday night was no different, and it was Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein adaptation of that, and they did an absolutely brilliant job. The acting, the way they portrayed Frankenstein's monster was brilliant, and it actually left for a discussion on who actually was the monster. Was it the monster Frankenstein created, or was it Frankenstein? It's really quite interesting. It just opened up a whole can of worms, I guess. Something that it could be a really good debate, and it was really good. It made me think, and also, like I said, made me realise that he might have been a monster, but it wasn't really his fault, was it? He was created. So if the creator lost a handle on what he created, maybe he was wrong in what he did. So yeah, it was really very, very, very interesting and quite intense. So we thoroughly enjoyed that. But of course it was a little bit too soon for me to be doing that. So once again, yesterday I was on the bed. And I said to Graham, I feel like my head's going to explode. I'm that frustrated. My head's clear, and my body, with the exception of my neck, is good to go. And I still just got to be a little bit patient, just to get that last week or so I'm right to go, so I don't undo everything that's been done. Oh my goodness, I said we were finished talking about this, didn't we? The texts that I'm putting down there are from it's Russian. It's Russian dialect. I have no idea what it says, and half the time I don't know whether or not I'm putting it up the right way or the wrong way. The numbers at the bottom are English, so I can read that, and I know from that which way to go. But once I start losing the page number, I have no idea. But it's there so that when you take the tag out of the envelope, you just don't see like what you can see there is a bit of coffee stain the way it's fallen, and it looks a bit yucky. So now the way I've done this one, I believe, I started putting the policy bottom closure on it. Some of them I've done the wraparound closure going down the page, but I didn't put that bottom closure like that. I just glued the two back front. Oops, I just glued the front and back together. At this one, for some reason, I decided that I wanted to do it like this. So like this. I might drive you crazy with all the different glues I use. I'm trying to use up the glues that I've got because, everything does go off. All the wet media will go off. I mean, the printables and paper, the laces, I'm referring to all wet media. It does go off eventually. So I have different glues for different things. I use this one for smaller surfaces when I don't have to be super accurate with it. I use the Art Glitter, which is my favourite glue of all, and I think a majority say that. When I need precision until I waste out everything, I will probably stick to just the Art Glitter and the clear silicone glue that I get from the variety stores, like a Dollar Tree or a Pound Shop. I don't know, we call them cheap shops or discount shops here. And then it's just a clear craft glue. There's nothing particularly special about it, but it's really good to cover large areas. And then I've always got the stick glue there as well. I don't really rely on stick glue for anything other than collage. As much as I like using it for the collage and that, I don't believe that the stick glue will hold. Hasn't got that permanency about it. Just a little thing from me. So if I'm using it on the collage, I'm usually going to be doing something over the top of it. So now that I've got the envelope finished, and I believe there was 3 of them that I did in like a little mini series. This is collage. This is using little bits and pieces of paper that smarter people than me throw out. I'm sitting up on the bed doing this, and Louis just come in very quietly to sit next to me. So they haven't been far. Cody's on the floor. He's blocking the door. He's the sentinel. He's keeping me safe. And Louis like close contact. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to keep him off the bed. So, pride of place. It's surprising. He takes up more room than what Graham and I do. He's such a tiny little thing because he's a miniature fox terrier. He's packed full of personality, this dog. Oh, he can be very willful. And he's always seems to have to be touching me. Like, he not very good at sitting next to me. He's got to have a little bit of him on me. I think that'll settle down once I'm up and going, and they know when you're not well. They really do. They really, really do. And then they're not very good. They don't cope too well the week I'm in hospital because they're so used to me being home all the time. And it's quite, well, it's not, it's almost sad, but it's a little bit funny the way they carry on when they clock me that we're going out. I'll put my clothes out on the bed to wear, and Louis will sit on them. It's like if I sit on them, he I won't be able to go. I'll have to put a couple of pictures up of what happens when we do go out. It's quite funny. I'll try and think if I put them on the end of this video. I will try and put them on to show you the antics, what this little boy goes through. Cheeky chops. But anyway, so all I'm doing now is it's not exciting. It's just what I do. I love scraps. I love to collage them. I've got master boards everywhere, so we're going to have to start thinking about what I want to do with them, and we'll do them together. So with the narrower strips, what I do is because I don't necessarily have all the joins that match up nice and neatly. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. With the narrower strips, I just look at all those scraps there. I don't know how to do this in a tidy manner. Every now and again you'll see me working and you'll think, oh, look, isn't she all tidy? It's just me making a real effort. But once I start embellishing or collaging, it just stuff goes everywhere. But what I was saying about the narrower strips, like the even use, the tops of the 12 by 12s, you know, the bit that we take off. Oh, my goodness. I don't know whether or not it's the talking or I just haven't had... I did have a really good sleep last night, so maybe I slept too much. I'll finish what I was saying in a minute. If I've got a lot of little irregular sort of like joins here and there with my collage, I take those little strips, thin strips, and I just collage over the top of them. So it just, to me, it just tidies it up a little bit. I seem to like it better if they're covered. So yeah, there's really not a lot to say, is there? It's just, this is all scrap, as you can see. And I've got some little ephemera bits out there sitting on the tray. I will probably, when I've finished this page, when I've got it all covered, I will use some of those commercial ephemera pieces, and I'll just pop them around the page just to lift it a bit. I'm not bored. I'm not bored. I'm not yawning because I'm bored. I'm sorry. I'm not yawning because I'm tired. I just think I'm yawning because, well, I don't know. I'm just yawning because, well, it could just be because I'm talking a bit more, and I'm just running out of. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know why, but I don't want to stop doing the voiceover now, in a vain hope that I will get back to it later. And I've found that, and I have had to in the past, do several tapes just to get one recorded, because the dogs will bark, a noise will happen, or whatever, something happens and I have to start all over again. And then I get confused to what I've said and what I haven't said. And so now when I hold it up like that, I'm holding it up, A, so you can see it, but also, two, if I hold it up like that, if I look on my screen, it gives me a different perspective of what I'm looking at, and I can get an idea where more have to go. And by putting my hand up like that, it's about the the 3-inch wide. So if these are going to be tags, I'm trying to figure out where I can put some of these where a little bit of one will end up in two different items. And if you get really, really lost with your collage, and this works in patchwork as well, to try and get a balance, if you're trying to get a certain look, lay out what you're doing and take a photo of it. And by looking at the photo, you can pick up what you'd like to change and what you'd like to keep the same, or where you've missed, well, in collage, where you've missed a bit, there's a bit of a hole. By holding it up near the camera and then looking at the screen, you can actually see it. So what I've done here is I'm just that's my amateurishy way of saying there's the first collage. So that's a 12 by 12 that's been coffee dyed, and the print side has been used for the collage because obviously paper that I would never use otherwise. So I don't know what I'm trying to show you there. I don't know. So by putting it's me, see all those bits of paper similar I've used, and there's another masterboard. So there's been a lot happening that I don't think I've done on screen. So the way it started was with the blue, which I was never going to use, and then see, so the scraps, they don't seem to be disappearing, do they? They just don't want to disappear. So there's another one. Like I said, basket one was basically all scrap. So what can I say? And here's one that I'm working on, and I'm hoping that I think I've seen this particular one in another video, so I'll have to try and stay vigilant that I'm not doing the same, because some, an hour and a half videos actually edits down to about 10 minutes. So when that happens, I've just been adding one or two more to it, just to pad it out to the 30-minute or so. So that scrap there, I decided, was too pretty and too big to go on a masterboard. So I've put it onto a piece of coffee patterned paper. I believe it's manila folder, just to give it a little bit of strength. And it's a printable as well. And I thought that would make a nice slim tag. So I'm just trying to square it off now. And I cut barely, I didn't cut hardly any of it off. It was just a matter of just trying to straighten it up a bit. So now I've got a tag base ready to go. And I do believe that there's that little bit more there's a little bit of a hole there on the right hand side. Oh no, they're papers. So I've got papers down on there. They're just a little bit quieter. So this is yet another masterboard. All my masterboards at this stage are on 12 by 12. My push to use what I've got. So 12 by 12 papers that I won't use anymore. I'm using the printed side for the collage, and then on the back I've got a tea-dyed, coffee-dyed piece of paper, so it shouldn't need backing. I'm just inking around this one now, and I'm not sure if I put a hole in the top of this one or whether or not I've left it open, because I just don't quite know what I'm doing with it yet. I've got a feeling that I might have, because I was just doing one that had a tag similar to that. Well, same colour. So that would never ever for me be used. So that I just showed you, which to my eye was quite ugly, I'm sure other people think it's absolutely wonderful, and I eventually might have been able to find something to do with it, but I don't have to worry about eventually because I've done it. So now this is what I was talking to you about, different joins and the way they are. I just cover them with a strip. I've also made the mistake of not knowing exactly when this video is going to end. So I might not get a chance to say goodbye to you. I don't know. I should have checked that, shouldn't I, girls? But anyway, and boys, sorry. It's just a matter of going around now, seeing what I like, seeing what I don't like. If I don't like the way all the joints have come together and I'm not happy with it, I'll just put a strip over. So those 12 by 12 by quarter inch, I think they are, strips at the top of paper can be used. But also too, when we're making things, we can have a bit of a strip of paper. I have been working on a very big project, and they will use those strips of paper in that project. So I'm going to have a lot of leftover from that. The corners. I've found another piece of paper that I thought would look pretty as a tag, so I've done that. Oh no, I haven't finished that collage. I've just seen the bottom of it where the yellow half circles are. I can't come at it. Doesn't matter how hard I try. It's a piece of paper that needs to be covered up. It's not attractive at all. And then by putting them through the coffee dye, when you finish what you're doing, if you're having them as journaling cards, tags, loose in your pockets, loose in your journal, it's already coffee dyed. You don't have to back it because the strength's there because of all the bits of paper that have been put on during the collage. So I ended up with so many glue pages, I've gone to using bits of non-stick baking paper. For a while I was just trying to edit another movie, and I believe I'm using those pages that I did for gluing in. So I don't know quite what I'm doing here, to tell you the truth. I would think by the look of it, it's going to go down on our collage page. Yep, there it goes. So this is, you just go on and on. I'd like to be able to throw out more scraps. I did throw out a little bit that was in the basket, but not too bad. So I'm really, really proud of the fact that that basket's now finished. I will put that up somewhere. I don't want to on this video because I've still got a few videos that I've done from the basket. So I am all out of sequence and around the bend, and there's a corner coming up. So I'm a bit out of whack, but I am getting things done. And as you can see, this is all things that would have gone into the bin that are useful. You just have to want to do it. If you don't like doing this sort of collage, that's fine. Just throw your scraps out. Do some die cuts with them. Don't feel bad. It's whatever works for you. My problem is I enjoy this and I do it because this is what I do when I can't do anything else. This is my doing nothing. This is me doing what I can, and I love doing it. So that's an extra bonus. So like I said, I've got plenty of 12 by 12 masterboards, so I am going to have to start using them for something. And then what I do is when it's becoming too small to put on the collage, dig out a couple of your die cuts and start die cutting away. I've got a little mini tag out of one of my die cut sets, and originally when I saw it I thought, I want to waste time. It's just too small. But I was wrong, because this is a really, really good size for the tags that we make that are oversized or just a little bit longer than normal. Little dangles off the top of the hole comes in really handy. So these little tags are perfect for it. And because I get a great deal of satisfaction wasting scraps down to nothing, it really, really does make me happy. So all I'm doing now is I've sorted out that I don't want to use in a collage anymore. And look at me, I cleaned my desk up around me just for you. So there wasn't any confusion. So in this particular session, I've got the small tag and I've got the teacups out. I didn't want to be dragging lots and lots of die cuts out and getting all confused and muddled and having mess everywhere. I can do that just using two. So it's, see how small. See, this tag is about, I think it's 2 by 1 inch, and so you can really use those little bits and pieces if you're like me, and it's a sense of achievement. And I don't think I've cut. Oh yeah, there's the cup now. So I like these cups. I've been meaning to use them for something, and I decided to go ahead and get some coffee, get some cut, so that if they okay, I stopped for some reason. I pressed the wrong button anyway, and my recording stopped. So I'm hoping this last little bit works out well. So I'll just take us out with me cutting out a few teacups. This is how I waste down right to the very end. I'll take this opportunity to say it's good to be back. Thank you for watching, and I'd like you all to just be very kind to yourselves and be kind to the person standing next to you. Until next time, and I hope it will be soon, I will see you then. Bye for now.